My husband and I ordered some furniture from Ashley. Um, we put it under our separate names because he was approved for so much financing, and then I applied and was approved for the remainder of what we needed. Um, on November 28th, I picked up the furniture because it was like $900 for delivery. And my husband has a truck, so we went and picked it up ourselves. On the 28th, I realized that the stools, there was only one per box. So I called the store right away, and they say, we're really busy right now. Can we call you back? And it was Black Friday, so I was understanding. Sure, no problem. And about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, when I hadn't heard anything back yet, I called them again. Puts me on hold. He comes back on the line, and he starts laughing and says, yeah, the salesman was mistaken. Those ones don't come in a set. And I figured I would hang up and call Ashley. I thought I would be able to speak with the supervisor, something. I got on the Ashley website, and the only thing that was available is to call them or to chat with them. So I was chatting with a person on the 29th of November, and I explained the situation. And on the chat, I have a screenshot where they told me they were going to allow the return as a courtesy because of the miscommunication. And I thought, wow, that's great. Awesome. Well, I continued to put things together. And then on the 30th, I realized the dining room table I ordered was completely incorrect. However, the paperwork and the table I received were correct, but the salesman ordered the wrong table. So I contacted the store again. Now they would not answer my calls. So I sent a message to my salesman because he gave me a business card with his office and cell number. I contacted the salesman and I said, hey, I need you to call me right away. And he said, I'm busy with a customer right now. What's up? And I said, you ordered the wrong table. Hour and a half goes by and he still hadn't returned my text, call, nothing. So I called the store again. And as I hang up, because nobody answered, he replies to my text and said, I'm with my boss right now. Okay. So he comes back a few minutes later and says, I apologize. It is 100% my fault. I said, don't worry about the stools. I got corporate on the stools. I came to you at the table. If you're going to make it right, then I don't need to go to corporate or go to the, anything. I'm giving you the opportunity to make it right before I go to them. And he says, okay, thanks. And I said, how long is this going to take? I have surgery on the 2nd, and I do not want, I'm not going to be in any position to be moving furniture around my house and doing things after surgery. And he says, well, this is a lengthy process. It will take time because there's multiple parties involved with delivery and pickup and, whatever. I said, okay. I reached out again because I hadn't heard anything about the stools yet. I was supposed to get an email back from the website that I spoke with. I was supposed to get an email back with the reference number for me to be able to return the stools. There was no reference number, so I called. And I called instead of chatbotting this time, and I was told that there was no case for the stools, that they don't know what I'm talking about, and nobody approved anything. And so I have screenshots of the chatbot conversation of them saying that they were approving the return. So I said, all right, so what are you telling me? I'm just stuck with these stools? And she said, yes. I said, all right, well, then I would like them repaired as well as my couch, because my couch was broken too, by the way. So the back of my couch would not snap into place. And so the stools were miscommunicated. I was told I was getting 4. The table was ordered wrong. My couch was broken. And now they're telling me I'm stuck with these stools no matter what. Okay, fine. Then I want stools without poke holes all in them, because these ones have you can tell it's like a factory defect or something. But I said, if you're going to make me pay this price per stool, then I want perfect stools without poke holes in them. So they tell me, okay, they're going to send a repairman out here to take a look at the couch and stools and table. The repairman came out here, and unfortunately, they would only schedule it for while I was doing my post-op appointment. They contacted me and said, no, December 9th, they'll be out there. And I said, okay, the only time I am not available is between 10:30 and 1 o'clock. I have a post-op appointment for my surgery. I had to have stents removed. And they scheduled the appointment for 11:30. So I thought, gee, thanks. All right. So I have my daughter-in-law, my stepdaughter. She came here to sit while I went to my doctor's appointment. And the repairman came, so we video called. She video called while I was at the doctor so that I could speak with the repairman. The repairman was very sweet, very nice gentleman. He did fix the couch, and he did go in the bedroom and see that I had this full-size dining room table upside down on my spare bed. And I stressed to him that my mother was going to be in town on the 17th, that I needed this fixed before the 17th because she's coming from Michigan. I live in Tennessee. He said, okay, I'll put this all in there. I didn't know this yet, but apparently he marked the bar stools as completed. And so they were awash. It looks like they were taken care of, apparently, I guess. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know any of this. I called to check on the status of the table because I'm getting worried now. My mom is coming in a few days, and I got to get this together. And I contact the people again. I spoke with a lady named Jamie. She promised me that she was going to call me back tomorrow when she had a solution or something to tell me. I said, okay, because I was asking for a supervisor, which, by the way, you cannot speak with a supervisor at Ashley. The customer service representative has to submit a ticket, and then the supervisor decides if they're going to call you back or not. So I spoke with Jamie, and she did not return my call or email. So the next day, I messaged her. Meanwhile, they're requesting photos. So I have email after email asking me for photos, wanting 360-degree photos. I suck when it comes to technology. I said, I have sent you photos, the best I can take. And your repairman took photos. If you need 360, whatever, you need to come and take them yourself. Because at this point now, I'm getting frustrated. How many times do I have to send you photos? So nothing. So I called now on the 16th because I'm panic stricken. My mother is going to be here tomorrow. And I find out from the person that nobody had even put the table in my file at all. Not the salesman, not the manager who've known about it since the 30th, not the repairman who came and took pictures of it upside down in my spare bedroom. And this person breaks it to me that's where things kind of got messed up. The repairman marked the stools as fixed and never said anything about the table. And as far as Ashley knows, this is the first that the table is being brought to their attention. I lost it. At this point, I am like, are you kidding me? We are now 17 days later, and I'm just getting somewhere with this. The person apologizes that I was talking to and promises me. I said, I'm done with your guys' promises. I'm done submitting tickets. I'm done. I need this fixed. My mother is going to be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. We have to have it approved by a supervisor. Okay. But they did rectify the stools. Right away, they set up an appointment for Saturday, the 20th, to come and pick up the stools. I said, okay, but why can't we do the table and the stools at the same time? And that's where they explain that it has to be approved by a supervisor. I have sent them screenshots from November 30th when the salesman admitted that he was wrong and said that he was going to make it right. And the person that I spoke with, I have so much, so much information on that. To find out that it was just now put in the system devastated me. I was very frustrated. I was very annoyed. And I said, and before we hang up, I want reference numbers. I am not going to let this go. I need reference numbers. I need validation that these things have been done, because I have been promised and broken promises one after another. So I get an email, not even a supervisor calls me, nothing. I get an email telling me that on the 22nd, they are going to pick up the old table, the wrong table, and bring me the new table. However, the invoice says now that I'm going to be charged $749 for a table that I was supposed to pay $374 for. So I called and I said, under no circumstances am I paying $749 for a table that I was supposed to get for $375. I don't want it. I would like to cancel it. And the lady said, you can't. What do you mean I can't? It's too late. No, it's not too late. I have not received it yet. Well, I have to submit this to a supervisor for approval. So I get a thing telling me that they're going to allow the return of the table. Great. Then Friday, before they come to get the stools, Saturday, they're supposed to come get them Friday, I get an email. They've taken me off of their delivery roster. No longer are they coming to pick up the stools or the table. I'm like, what do you mean? So I called again. And she said, unfortunately, ma'am, it doesn't show me why you were taken off of the delivery route. All I can tell you is that you were. I said, I've been paying for my mom to sleep in a hotel room since Wednesday night. I can't afford this. Like, obviously, if I'm financing furniture, I don't have money to shell out for a hotel room, you know? And why do I want my mom? She's here for the holidays, not to go be in a hotel room at nighttime, you know? So she says, I'll submit a ticket to the warehouse and ask them to put you back on their route. I just wanted to take this furniture and throw it through their window. I'm at this point, I'm so done with this company. And for the first time, somebody actually from Ashley called me, but it was the warehouse manager saying, hey, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know. Can you tell me? Because I've got this table upside down on my bed. I've got these stools that I'm supposed to be returning, and I was taken off of the delivery roster. And he said, oh, that was partly my fault. You were removed because the status of the stools was incomplete. And when I removed the stools, it automatically removed the table as well. And I said, okay, so what do I do here? You know, I don't have money for hotels like this, and I want my mom in my house, you know? And he apologizes. He tells me that, unfortunately, the manager at the store that I bought from has a history of terrible customer service, and the salesman is the worst at the store for ordering the wrong stuff. So being the sweetheart he said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put you back on the roster, and whatever happens, happens with the incomplete bar stools. So thankfully, they did come Saturday, and they picked up the table and the bar stools. But I still have not spoke to a supervisor, not once. I don't know even if all of my money is getting refunded. I don't know how long that's going to take. So in the meantime, I'm sitting here making payments on furniture because it's weekly payments I don't have in my home. I'm still making payments on bar stools and table that I don't have. The customer service sucks.